Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.
This is BBC News. These are the latest headlines in the UK and around the world. As the world prepares to welcome in 2022, many New Year's Eve celebrations have been cancelled or scaled back because of concern over COVID infections. London and Paris are among the cities to have cancelled their traditional firework displays, and Edinburgh's Hogmanay celebrations have also been called off. In his New Year's message, Boris Johnson has urged people in the UK to take a COVID test before celebrating tonight. South Africa has lifted overnight curfew rules, with officials saying the country may have passed the peak of its fourth wave of COVID-19 infections. In other news, firefighters are battling one of the most destructive ever wildfires in the US state of Colorado. Hundreds of homes have been destroyed and more than 30,000 people have been forced to evacuate the area. Relieved and grateful, the victims of Ghislaine Maxwell have been speaking after she was convicted of grooming girls to be abused by Jeffrey Epstein. Her family say they cannot accept the verdict. Joe Biden has again told President Vladimir Putin that the US and its allies will respond decisively if Russia does not de-escalate tensions on his country's border with Ukraine. Hello. As the world prepares to see in 2022, many New Year's celebrations are being cancelled or scaled back amid rising infections due to the highly transmissible Omicron variant. But there is some good news, as officials in South Africa say the Omicron wave may have peaked. An overnight curfew that was imposed as part of a package of restrictions to try to stop the spread of Omicron in the country has been lifted, with health officials estimating the country may have passed a fourth peak of COVID infections. The government there says the Omicron variant, while highly transmissible, has seen lower hospitalisation rates than previous waves. Meanwhile, major firework displays and celebrations have been cancelled in Paris, and Edinburgh's famous Hogmanay event has been called off. Major events in the US and Australia, such as the celebrations in Times Square and at Sydney Harbour, have been scaled back. In the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has praised in a year-end message what he called the heroic vaccination effort across the country. NHS bosses say some vaccination centres have reported, though, as many as 40% of people failed to turn up for booked appointments. Boris Johnson has resisted calls to impose new regulations in England, despite rising COVID cases across the country.